With that infinity sword, I will rule the universe! All right, squaddies, time to hero up!
Superhero Squad. The nostalgia that I get, like, just watching that intro and hearing that theme song again. Ooh, it hits me. It hits me real deep. I was a mega fan of Hasbro's 2006 toy line in collaboration with Marvel. I grew up with all these toys. I still have them in like a bin in the storage. I was even more into the show that was on Cartoon Network. I feel like most people know about the show. Like, that's nothing new for a lot of like Marvel fans, kids who grew up with Marvel. And I even own a bunch of the episodes on DVD. Like, this was my thing. But I'm not here to talk about the show. I'm not here to talk about the toys. I want to focus on the games, but not the one online game that I feel like most people like know about. You might find other retrospective videos of on YouTube. I want to talk about like the two, I guess they're not single player, but the two beat 'em up kind of games that came out before. I want to say one came out before the online game, one came out after. I'm not completely sure, but I want to talk about those two games. And by those two, I mean the first one. I'll talk about the second one in a later video. I'm talking about the 2009 game released on the PS2, PSP, DS, and Wii. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to cover the PS2 version. That's the one I played the most as a kid, and I wanted to kind of take a trip down memory lane for that. So let's hop right into Marvel Superhero Squad for the PS2. The bulk of the time I spent in this game, both as a child learning about Marvel for the first time, and as a grown-up, like replaying it and taking a trip down memory lane, was spent in the story mode. The main story plays like we're going through 8 episodes of the TV show, like 8 uniquely for the game episodes of the show. It has some inspiration like from the show and some aspects of the game and the story, but you know, it is its own story technically, just loosely based off the show. It takes a simple premise of the Infinity Fractals, which are these pieces of an Infinity Sword getting lost out the Marvel Universe, and the Superhero Squad has to collect them all before Doctor Doom goes and collects them for himself to recreate the Infinity Sword and rule the universe. There are 8 levels in the story. The prologue, 6 levels themed around a specific squaddie, and the final level against Doctor Doom. The mission structure for the levels revolves around playing as one of the 6 squaddies, being Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Wolverine, Falcon, and the Silver Surfer. You can also select Miss Marvel, Storm, Invisible Woman, Captain America, Nightcrawler, and The Thing as your partner characters in these 6 levels. It's a fairly simple beat-em-up game with some platforming and little to no puzzle solving. Plus, all the characters do basically play the same, but okay, some can fly, some can pick up heavy objects, and others can shoot projectiles. With the lack of puzzles and overall varied content in the game, every level ends up having you fighting seemingly endless hordes of enemies. While you're defending objectives, you're fighting endless hordes of enemies. Destroying objectives, you're fighting endless hordes of enemies. But the only break in gameplay comes with quick time events and boss fights. The boss fights do shake up the gameplay a little bit as it transitions from the standard level formats to the battle mode format. But we'll get a little more into that a little bit later. I got a whole section about battle mode, so we're going to stick to the main story stuff outside of that. Each level also has a gimmick tied to each character. Silver Surfer had my favorite gimmick, utilizing the power-up fractals spread throughout the game. Different fractals have different abilities, such as super speed, invincibility, and increased damage. This level was all about these fractals, so it's kind of neat to see them being utilized more than just kind of appearing every once in a while throughout the story. Wolverine's was platforming. Thor's might have been just more quick time events than the average level. I'm not really sure about that one. Hulk's was throwing large objects at like big stone structures to make walkways and pathways. Falcon's was for some reason surviving Doctor Doom. You had to like fight him early on, but he was super strong. He would like 2-hit you, and your main goal was just don't die for 2 minutes. It was kind of hard. I got stuck on him when I was a kid. Iron Man's though, that one was the worst one. It was flying. This ties into one of the things I hate the most about this game. Like, throughout replaying it, the camera. It is bad. You know, you fight a bunch of villains in this game. You know, you fight Doctor Doom, you fight Abomination, you fight MODOK. But the camera's the worst villain of in this whole game. It's genuinely awful. You can't see what's in front of you because the camera gets stuck in walls. It keeps zooming out, even though it's nothing to zoom out at that point. It's just, no, it's awful. And the flying controls, just as bad. So when this whole level relies on good flying controls and good cameras, and you have neither, oh man. Oh, oh man, it's bad. It's one of the worst level gimmicks I've ever played in a video game. Maybe I should play more games, I don't know. But I really didn't like this. I didn't like this. You see, Iron Man has to fly through these large corridors, and every time you fail this flying section, you fall into like this green, like electric acid stuff, you lose a little bit of health. You lose all your health, you restart from the last checkpoint, which is, who knows what the last checkpoint was? It doesn't really tell you, so you don't really want to risk it. So you can see me in the video right here, failing a lot, like trying different tactics. It's a mess. It's really awful. It took me so long to do this. You know, I'm going to use that as an excuse for why this video took me so long to actually make and finish. I was teasing this for a long time. I'm going to say it was this level. I hated this level. I really I don't hate a lot of things about games. Usually I like mostly everything. But this level, no, I genuinely hated it. You know, because the flying is more like gliding. You can't make it to the end unless you use the game's manual aiming. So if you're gliding and you're just trying to fly first without knowledge of the manual aiming, like flight, you're just going down and thinking, how am I supposed to get this far? Eventually, I figured that out. Eventually, I figured out you use the manual aiming to kind of get farther. But by the time I figured that out, the game throws in mines. So now I gotta shoot the mines in the air fast enough while in the air to get all the way to the end. It sucks. I hate it. I don't like it at all. It's the worst thing ever. After playing through 7 levels of Marvel's Superhero Squad, we take on the final level. A level where you just fight wave after wave after wave of Doombots. There's no platforming. There's no quick time events, even though the quick time events pop up at every level. But this one, I think, I'm not completely sure. But last I remember, I don't remember quick time events. It's just pure enemies. There's no puzzle, no objective, just enemies. You just fight enemies all the whole level. You don't get to swap between the 6 squaddies throughout the level. You just pick the first 2 and that's it. It's a little disappointing, just like how empty this final level of the game is. Especially since the prologue's honestly really good. The first level was really good. It like lets you play as, it lets you swap your characters. Number one, you like throughout the level, you play as 2 different groups of characters. You play as, you can pick your own 2 in the beginning, and then you end up turning into Wolverine and Hulk for this MODOK and Abomination boss fight. Like, it's really cool. You get the quick time event, you get different types of objectives, saving shield agents. None of that in the final level. Just like 30 straight minutes of fighting Doom bots just to fight Doctor Doom in the easiest boss fight in the game. It's extremely anticlimactic, unfortunately to say. And that's the story mode for Marvel Superhero Squad. Well, that's almost everything. There's some other things you can do in the story mode. You can collect these little, like, fractal shards, I guess they're called. I don't really know what they're called. And you can get a 100% like amount of them. It goes past 100% because there's not like a cap to how many of them you can unlock. It's sort of like this game's version of like a true hero from the TT Lego games. I think it just unlocks more content for the battle mode, but I don't really know what it does. I never really tried to get them except for in the Iron Man level because it took me so long. I just kept getting more. But there's also one other collectible in the game. This is the one like real deal collectible that requires you to actually look for it. Barely, but you gotta look for it. And this unlocks a secret playable character in the battle mode. Of course, it's the one character who's on the front of the box and isn't shown in the game up until you collect all these tokens. It's Spider-Man. a Spider-Man token that you collect. You collect 6 Spider-Man tokens in the story, and you can play as Spider-Man. But, of course, it's a catch. You can't play them in the levels. You can't replay the story levels with Spider-Man as like your second partner character. No, you can only play him in the battle mode, which is disappointing, you know. But, fun fact, you know, before we lead into the battle mode and we talk about battle mode, fun fact, Spider-Man just doesn't appear in any of the Superhero Squad episodes. It just doesn't. He appears in the games, but never pops up in the show. That's probably rights issues. I remember, like, thinking that he pops up in the intro, like the music, the theme song. But no, probably doesn't. I was probably just seeing red that flash for a second. Thought, oh my God, Spider-Man. But yeah, he never appears in the show, which is really unfortunate. He would have been great in the show. But let's segue into battle mode now. Let's get into the battle mode. Battle mode is a 4-player arena brawler mode where you're able to play as all the heroes from the story, Spider-Man, and all the villains that you face off against in the story. My personal favorite character to play back in the day was the AIM agent. I just always thought like grunt characters like this, like the standard like nameless soldier, was always cool to play when you had a roster of like the most popular superheroes or the most popular characters in fiction. It's just like, yeah, and then like the soldier, you know, especially Lego games did all the time, playing as like Rebel Friend and stuff in Lego Star Wars. Like that stuff means something. It's always nice to have the little guy playable. But, you know, it was a pretty interesting roster of characters. You could play as all of them. You could just fight in these free-for-alls or team battles where, you know, you just fight off against up to 4 players. You just beat them up. Just lower their health as fast as you can, knock them off the map, and try to get as many stocks as you can. Like this is Super Smash Brothers. Boss fights in the story mode are essentially just a structured version of this battle mode. So even if you didn't go into battle mode specifically, you just got like a taste of it during the story. You know, you just got to fight off like one villain. Usually it was you and your partner character just ganging up on one boss because it just didn't make story sense to spawn another one in. It was kind of easy in those bosses, except for the Dark Silver Surfer one. He was beating me and my NPC companion to bits, man. We were just getting wiped. It was bad. It was very bad. I never like played too much of the battle mode when I was younger, and even I didn't really play any of it for this video. Sorry. It's just not that fun when you're playing solo. It's also just not that fun in general. Like, after playing the story, you play a bunch of these battle modes. You play probably 1 per level, except for the final level, I think. But you play like 1 per level. Okay, not the prologue, not the final level. So just, you play, I've done 6 battle modes before beating this game. So it's like, do I really need more? It's not much else except for playing as other characters who all play the same. They all have like the same base. It's probably 3 really unique characters, maybe 4 unique characters, and then the rest of them are just copies of those 4. So I didn't really care to play too much of it. But Spider-Man's cool. You know, that's neat. Be able to shoot webs and stuff. That's fun. Well, this was a long, repetitive, and downright annoying trip down memory lane. You know, and this sucks because I loved playing this game so much as a kid. Like, this was really my jam, you know? Like, if I had hours on this game, if I could see the hours on, like, a PS2, it would probably say 10. I probably didn't play as long as I thought. But I'm not going to act like it hasn't aged well over the years. No, that's wrong. I'm not going to act like it aged well over the years. The lack of gameplay variety and the issues like the camera make it really hard just to come back and play again. It might have been more enjoyable playing co-op, but you know, it is what it is. I play solo a lot. I did enjoy finishing the story for the first time though, because as a kid I got stuck on that Falcon level. You know, trying to survive Doom was basically impossible to, I guess, 8-year-old me? That's when I was playing it the most. That's why I remember playing like 8, 7. So yeah, I never finished it back then. But, you know, nice to run it back and finally beat Doom and, you know, give it the old I did it. But yeah, and it's not the best coming back to. Overall, I'd give the game like a 5 out of 10. You know, if I was like a kid, maybe like a 9 out of 10, but like a 5 today. You know, when you're just looking to see your favorite heroes in the game and you're like 7 years old, yeah, it's awesome. You're 4 years old. So I should have got it like around 4. It's awesome. But, it's rough playing today, man. It's aged rough. It's not like playing Kingdom Hearts 2 or something. I never really played Kingdom Hearts 2. I just think that the game, I heard that's a good game. I think it probably aged well. I don't know. But I know a sequel made improvements though. I mean, I remember playing Superhero Squad, the Infinity Gauntlet. And one of the main things that this game adds over the first game is just having puzzles. Like actual puzzles to utilize your character's skills and do something more than just punch things. I don't know if it was made by the same developers. I didn't check that before recording. But, it'd be cool if it did. But if not, it doesn't matter. It might be a THQ, I think, did. But, yeah, I'm really excited to cover it, though. I'm really excited to cover Superhero Squad, Marvel Superhero Squad, the Infinity Gauntlet for the next retrospective. I'm really, I think that game's going to be really fun to kind of go back to. Then again, I thought this was going to be fun to go back to. So maybe I'm just looking at it with rose-tinted glasses. But if you are looking forward to watching that video as well, as much as I'm looking forward to covering the game, or if you just like this video, consider actually tapping the like button and tapping the subscribe button to the channel and tap that notification bell to see any other videos that get added. I know it's been a little bit of a break since my last video, but I want to get back to it, and this is definitely the way to start. Finally finishing probably my biggest video personally that I've ever done. So I'm really excited. I'm happy to finally get through this. It took a lot, surprisingly. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.